Right. Hello, everybody. Just want to talk a little bit about my internship this summer. I was very grateful for the opportunity with Morette company. Uh, they helped me out a lot as far as my knowledge in construction goes, and I'm just grateful to work with them this summer. They're a great company, and we can just dive right into it. All right. First thing I want to talk a little bit about is the overview of the project that I worked on this summer with Morette Company. I interned. I was their summer intern. But the project I worked on was called the Bradley Tower Renovation Project. That is BTR 25009 is the exact subtitle of our project. But a little bit about that. It's a 15-month length project. By the time I started my internship, I we just started the project a week after I started my internship. So I've gotten to see the first full start of the project. But it's a girls' dormitory renovation at Pensacola Christian College, and it's 10 stories, so fast pace. But I just was grateful to roll right into this project and talk a little bit about how to be a great manager and learn in a fast-paced environment with some great superintendents as well. All right, I want to talk a little bit about my duties here on this project that I'm working on. Again, Bradley Tower renovation. These are my list of duties that I have. These are just touching on a few, ultimately, is what it is. As an intern, I wanted to add value in as many ways as I could on this project. And I think these duties exemplify me adding value to the project. So I was just very grateful that they threw these duties at me. But we'll touch on a few of them here. Leading orientation. So anybody that walks on our site, you have to run through an orientation, and I am in charge of that. We have 254 is what I have listed, and that is the exact number up to current date of subcontractors that have been on our job site. So I have orientated probably 220 of those 254. Other times I've been out with Coast Guard duty and whatnot. Next thing is managing the labor force. We work with Action Labor. They're a subcontractor for us. Work with them and manage the guys inside and out. Mainly general housekeeping, but we just stay up to date and manage and work with them and their boss to make sure everything's squared away. Next thing is managing the dumpster operations, basically. Long story short, we have cranes and we have interior demo and everything. We got to keep those things empty as best we can. So any material from demo, whether that's exterior, interior, I'm in constant contact with them to make sure we have our fresh dumpsters as well as new staging locations. Delivery coordinator, I coordinate deliveries as well, which is a big part of what we got going on. We stage a lot of materials on site, and I got to find the right locations for that. Next thing is police and parking. I said it doesn't seem like a heavy thing, but the reality of it is we got 60 people on a college campus, and there's minimal spots for subcontractors to park, and we got to figure that out, and we got to get everybody on the same page ultimately to police the parking and get in our designated area. And then the last little duty I have in here is conducting conducting safety and coordination meetings. Long story short, we have safety and coordination meetings every Tuesday at 9 a.m. And I'm in charge of running that as all scopes of work. Anybody that's on the project will be there. Anywhere from 50 to 100 people will be there. And I operate those safety and coordination, just touching on topics we need to work on safety wise, and then coordinating with the supervisors to stay in touch and up to date based on what they have weekly. I'll just do a quick overview of skills that I used and then some that I acquired as well. So, skills, communication, flexibility, multitasking, prioritizing, time managing, and logistics knowledge. These are skills that are very beneficial in the construction side. I touched on it on my journal, but very beneficial and I use them a lot. Communication, time managing, and logistics knowledge, probably the three main focus there. And then skills that I acquired was quality control and construction. A lot, again, use that attention to detail, making sure you're back checking every work that's being done. Construction knowledge was an acquired skill. Gaining knowledge out in the field was definitely great. Um, yes, there's knowledge in class, but there's also a practical knowledge sense to it. So I was grateful to learn that. And then critical thinking. There's just scenarios that it might not fit just right, but you just critically think about it, and you could find a scenario that might fit the bill just about perfect if you work around it. So that's pretty much the skills I've got. Personal performance. All right. I just want to touch a little bit on this, not too much. I'm not here to judge my work. I want others to do that for me, but ultimately just add value in any way that I can, like I said before. But really, the biggest thing with personal performance, it ultimately comes down to work ethic and showing up and showing out. That's ultimately what it is. So you're just there. Um, and it's basically a choice you make every day. You just got to commit to your craft and be ready to learn at all times. And I think I 100% did that. But I want my evaluation to speak for itself. So thank you. Problems that arose. My biggest problem here, and I just touched on it, was Tropical Storm Dexter. With a renovation project like this, a main concern is the watertight integrity, making sure the building is kept away from any rain, any outside force that could ultimately get within the building. So that was a big issue. It was looking at about 4 to 8 inches of rain. Anytime there's rain, anytime there's lightning, we work with mass climbers, we work with cranes. That's always a huge safety hazard for us, and we got to stay on top of that stuff. But Tropical Storm Dexter, especially, I think the biggest concern here is that yes, we had a bit of a notice, but we didn't know how much of an impact it had or if it was going to hit us. But I think it was a Wednesday, moving into to a Wednesday night to Thursday. We got notice that it was going to hit us, and at that point, I had a day's notice. We had 117 window openings to seal up. Of course, they have plywood in the opening area, but we had to seal it up with stucco tape with spray foam as much as we can to keep that watertight integrity to waterproof and stay away from any rain coming in. And the biggest issue there is that we had one day to do 117 windows with me and two other laborers, and ultimately we tried our best, and I'm saying it in this one, about 40 or so windows. The seal broke with wind speeds and whatnot, so we did get a little bit of water infiltration, but ultimately it wasn't too big of a deal because as long as it's not seeping into drywall that we're going to finish, ultimately we were just trying to stay away from mold, and we already had a lot of that stuff demoed out or will soon to be demoed out at the time. All right, and next we have the observation of the internship. Ultimately, I just was so grateful to work on such a high level project here and have a great team around me as it goes. I just want to shout out to my two superintendents, Jamie Dunn and Dakota Hayes, both great superintendents. Jamie Dunn, very knowledgeable. Dakota Hayes, also very knowledgeable. Dakota is a great teacher. um, Jamie Dunn, I just pick his brain whenever I can. I'm just very grateful to have them on this project and learning under them. And then just grateful for Morette and the name that they hold in the community, and to their clients around, and that I get to be a part of that. So I got to see, from day one of my internship, I got to see the respect for Morette. and my respect for them, and I was just grateful to work with them. All right, I just want to talk a little bit about class application, and I have 4 classes here that directly related to this internship. Top 2, these are major related courses, and drawings and materials and methods. Drawings, obvious stuff. You read the drawings, you communicate with the subcontractors based on drawings. Everybody's reading drawings, and you are communicating with each other what you need, and that entangles with RFIs. If you need to request information from the architect, if you don't understand it, drawings is a perfect one for that. Materials and methods, also another great class that I've learned at UWF that directly applies to what we have going on. Any materials, any methods, any jargon that you have dependent on materials and methods, it is all directly applied to what we have going on in my construction site. I also wanted to talk about 2 classes that are not necessarily major related courses, but business communications I took and computer applications I took as well. These are both also great non-major related classes um, that directly helped me in my project. The last thing I want to talk about is advice for future interns. Just 3 main things. Work hard every day, even when you don't feel like it. There's going to be days where you work a 10-hour shift. You got 4 hours of class afterwards, and then you got 2 hours of homework, and you're deciding, should I sleep? Should I do homework? What do I do here? Ultimately, just work hard and show up. You're going to wake up at 6:30 a.m. and you're going to be tired as all get out, but those are the days you're going to learn the most. So work hard and get after it. Next thing, pick their brain. What I'm referring to here is the people in the position that you desire to be in. Superintendent, APM, PM, whatever you got going on, pick their brain. Believe it or not, they are most likely willing to help, and they want to teach you just as much as you want to learn. And just learn as much as you can by picking the brain of the people that you desire to be in their position. Last thing, understand your position. You're an intern. This company is giving you an opportunity to learn and grow in the knowledge of construction. Therefore, that is a gift. But while that is a gift, you got to give in return the gift of adding value to the project ultimately. All these things are great. It is a great gift, a gift of knowledge and construction. But while you're there, add as much value as you can through your work ethic, through your current knowledge, and through whatever circumstances you got going on. And that's a wrap. Thank you very much.